Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings for Thursday, July the 4th. It is July 4th, so happy July 4th to everyone watching this video. I'm going to be covering the 6-game main slate for DraftKings. I believe the 6-game slate starting at 2 o'clock is going to be like their main slate, even though it is sort of like an early slate because there's a bunch of early games. Looking on Fantasy Labs, it looks like this 6-game slate is going to be the main. Then they got a 4-game night slate that you can play, and there's like a 2-game early starting at 11 o'clock. But we're just going to focus on this 6-gamer. I'll look at DraftKings for today, just DraftKings, no Yahoo for today. I'm pretty sure Yahoo's going to be doing like an all-day slate. Not sure about that yet, but I'll just plan on playing DraftKings for Thursday. And I don't think I'm going to be making a video for the night slate because I don't plan on playing the night slate. So this is going to be my only video for today, for July 4th. Going to play this early slate, then going to spend some time with the family. So we'll start off at the top of the pitcher-player pool. We'll look at pitching for today, talk about some of my favorite options. Then we'll look at some stacks that I'll be going to. We'll talk about some BVP plays as well. Just before we do get started, guys, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button down below so that way you won't miss out on any of my new videos. So at the top of the pitcher-player pool, Jose Barrios is our most expensive option today. He's $11K on DraftKings, and he gets a matchup against Oakland. I would say this is a less than ideal matchup. There aren't a ton of strikeouts in this Oakland lineup. You can get some Ks from the bottom of the lineup, but Semien, Chapman, Olsen, Davis, not a ton of strikeouts there. Chris Davis will definitely strike out, but Semien, Chapman, Olsen don't strike out much. So I just don't know if I really want to pay $11K for Barrios today. 4.5 implied run total for the A's. He's not getting a ton of respect from Vegas. Barrios also much better at home than on the road. Throughout his career, he's been much better at home than on the road. So I think Barrios is probably going to be a guy that I avoid. I would much rather play Matt Boyd. I think Matt Boyd is in a much better matchup. He honestly might be a better pitcher. He's $400 cheaper as well. Gets to face the White Sox. Matt Boyd definitely going to be my top pitcher on this 6-gamer. So he was expected to pitch on Tuesday, but that game got postponed. So it looks like he's going to pitch for this game on Thursday. And then Ivan Nova is expected to pitch for the White Sox. So Matt Boyd should be able to get a win here. I love the Tigers as a stack today. Ivan Nova just not that good of a pitcher. The Tigers should be able to give him some run support. Should be able to pick up a win, get you those 4 extra DraftKings points. He just has a lot of upside in this matchup. This is a White Sox team that will strike out versus left-handed pitching. If we look at their lineup, their projected lineup for Thursday, plenty of Ks in there. There's going to be a lot of righties in the lineup, but a lot of righties that will strike out, especially when you get towards the bottom of the lineup with like Eloy Jimenez, Rondon, Sanchez, Cordell. A lot of Ks there. I think Matt Boyd has a ton of upside today. For what it's worth, when he faced the White Sox earlier this year, he went 6 innings, allowed 5 hits, 2 runs, got 9 strikeouts, got 23 DraftKings points the first time he faced the White Sox. Could easily see him putting up a performance similar to that or even a better performance. So Boyd's going to be my favorite pitcher today. Then you have Luis Castillo at 10K against the Brewers. This is just a really tough spot for Luis Castillo. The Brewers just not a team that I want to take pitchers against. He's faced the Brewers 3 times this year, and every time he started against them, he's been pretty mediocre. Just a really tough matchup. Don't think Castillo has the upside that a guy like Matt Boyd has. Castillo he is a high upside pitcher, but in this matchup, I just don't think the upside's there. There's not a lot of strikeouts. Just a really tough spot for Castillo. Then you have guys like Brandon Woodruff, Yanni Chirinos, Jordan Lyles. Don't have much interest in these guys. I think Brandon Woodruff definitely gives you some upside at 9,400. He is facing the Reds, and this is I would say a pretty decent matchup for him. He did face the Reds a couple starts ago and went 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, got 12 strikeouts, 33 DraftKings points in his last start against the Reds. You can definitely get some Ks from this Reds lineup, especially like towards the bottom. But again, at 9,400, he's not going to be a top priority for me. I would just rather get to Matt Boyd for a little bit more salary. I feel like I'm going to be paying up for either like Boyd or Barrios and then going cheap at SP2. Don't really like any of these mid-range options. It's a pretty weak pitching slate in my opinion. There's not a lot of plays that really stand out to me. But for SP2, the guy that I like to go to the most is J.A. Happ at 7K against the Rays. I think J.A. Happ is one of the better SP2 options we have today. Now, like I said, the options we have aren't great, but Happ is going to be facing a Rays team that will strike out versus left-handed pitching. It's also a really good pitcher's park, pitching in Tampa Bay. one of the more pitcher-friendly parks. Pretty low total for the Rays at 4.4. Like I said, there's a lot of Ks here. Happ's going to be facing a lot of righties, but there are a lot of righties that will strike out in this lineup. J.A. Happ's definitely been like a mediocre pitcher this year. Has not really been that good, but this is a pretty favorable matchup for him. Pitching on the slate's pretty weak. Like Jordan Lyles is in a tough spot against the Cubs. Tommy Milone against the Cardinals is kind of in a tough spot. Jose Quintana facing a Pirates team that doesn't really strike out much. And then you have guys like Michael Wacha, Tanner Anderson, who just I feel like aren't that good a pitcher. So Happ's going to be the guy that I go to the most at SP2 today. But I think that's it for pitching. Let's talk about some bats now. So right now, Fantasy Labs has Ronaldo Lopez starting for the White Sox. But from what I'm seeing, it looks like it's going to be Ivan Nova starting for the White Sox. And if that's the case, I want to load up on Tigers bats versus Ivan Nova. Nick Castellanos is a guy that I really like in the outfield. He's 4,300 on DraftKings. Just a guy that has a ton of power versus lefties and righties. Ivan Nova will give up home runs to both sides of the plate. Just a guy that we want to attack with power hitters. So Castellanos is a hitter that I really like today. I'm going to be stacking up the Tigers a ton. Also, Candelarios feels like a really good value. He's projected to bat 6. He's dirt cheap. He's only 3,400 on DraftKings. He will be getting the platoon advantage facing the righty. He'll be batting from his left side. Does have some power from his left side. Also has a little bit of speed. He can steal some bases. Does have 3 stolen bases on the year. So he just gives you a lot of upside at this very cheap price of 3,400. If Nova's going to be pitching, I think the Tigers give you so much upside. And there really aren't a ton of standout stacks today. Like, I guess you could go to the Cubs against Lyles, but Lyles is actually a pretty decent pitcher. The Twins versus Tanner Anderson I do like quite a bit, but that ballpark obviously not great for hitting. Yanni Chirinos is not really a guy that I want to pick on, so I don't see myself going to the Yankees. I think the Cardinals versus Tommy Milone do give you some upside, especially because they're so cheap. Like Martinez, DeYoung, Goldschmidt, Tyler O'Neill, guys that have power versus lefties. So you could look there, but there aren't a ton of like standout stacks today. So if the Tigers are going to be facing Ivan Nova, who I would say is probably the worst pitcher on this slate, then they are definitely a team I want to get some exposure to. So really like Castellanos, really like Candelario. If Jacoby Jones leads off, he's been a really good hitter this year, much better than much better this year than the beginning of the year, and as of late, he's been much better. So at 4,100, you could look there. Miguel Cabrera is very cheap. You could play him. Christian Stort's a really cheap outfielder you could go to. You can pretty easily fit the Tigers in with Matt Boyd. So I'm going to be going to a lot of Tigers bats today. And then, like I mentioned, I also think the Twins are in a pretty good spot versus Tanner Anderson. Really like Max Kepler leading off 4,600. If I stack the Twins, or if I have a lineup with the Twin stack, Max Kepler is definitely a guy that I'm going to have in there. Just a ton of power versus righties. Shown a lot of power this year with 21 home runs. And even in a less than ideal hitter's park, these guys still have so much power. This Twins team still has so much power that they can hit it out of Oakland. Kepler at 4,600 I really like. Polanco batting second for 4,500. I think it's a really good play. Cruz is expensive at 5,200, but once you get past Cruz, there's a ton of value in this Twins lineup with Gonzalez at 3,600, Araras at 38, Castro at 38, 41 for CJ Cron. You can probably stack the Twins and the Tigers and then still fit in Matt Boyd, which is probably the route that I'm going to be taking on this slate. So I really like Max Kepler. I think he's one of my top priorities when looking at Twins hitters. But I think that's it for my 5 plays for DraftKings today, guys. Let's go ahead and talk about some stacks real quick, and we'll look at some BVP plays before we end the video. So assuming Ivan Nova's pitching for the White Sox, the Tigers are going to be my top stack today versus Ivan Nova. Love going to them here. Really like the Twins versus Tanner Anderson. That's definitely a spot I'm going to be looking to for bats. And then I think some Cardinals hitters versus Tommy Milone, specifically the 2 through 4 with Martinez, DeYoung, and Goldschmidt. You could throw Tyler O'Neill in there, but the 2 through 4 is what I really like from the Cardinals. You could definitely look to them as a cheap mini stack. But other than that, there's not really a ton of teams that I'm really focused on this 6-gamer. Going to be pretty concentrated with my stack ownership. Going to be really focused on just a couple teams. But let's go ahead and look at some BVP real quick before we end the video. So Jose Abreu, 12 for 24 with 2 home runs off of Matt Boyd. Orlando Arcia, 7 for 17 off Luis Castillo. Corey Dickerson, 5 for 11 with the home run off Jose Quintana. And then lastly, Avisel Garcia has gone 4 for 12 with 2 home runs off of J.A. Happ. So those are all the BVP plays that I got for today, guys. I think that's pretty much it for this Thursday slate. Like I said at the beginning, happy July 4th to everyone watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy your day. If you're off of work, hopefully you enjoy your day off work. I do have some plans Thursday night, so I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to get a video up for Friday. If I do make a video for Friday, it's probably going to be later on Thursday night, or I'm going to make it in the morning on Friday morning. But I will try and get a video up for Friday's slate. This is going to be my only video for July 4th. I'm not going to be making a video for the 4-game night slate. Just this video for July 4th. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you drop a like if you enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe if you are new. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT, or you can leave any comments down below in the comment section. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them there. But yeah, good luck tonight, guys. Appreciate you watching the video. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.